So Alex Hormozi did an interview telling coaches and agencies exactly what to do and not do when it comes to growing their business, starting with the number one thing that everyone messes up.
Here's the one that everyone messes up. Like, even if you work with chiropractors, right, as that example, you don't necessarily even want to work with all chiropractors. You want to work with chiropractors. Like, if so, here's how, I talk about it in the book, in the referral section. But you look at the customers that you have right now that are the best customers, like the top 20% or the top 10%. You say, okay, what characteristics do these people have that other people don't have in my client list? And that's both from the the hard perspective. What are the quantitative differences? They have a certain size business.
Don't make the mistake of thinking mainly in demographics. Demographics are things like six-figure chiropractors. Demographics. Chiropractors who have 8 employees or less. Demographics. You want to mainly think in terms of the psychology or the psychographics. It's simple. It's a big word. Where do the chiropractors want to go next? How do they want to get from here to here? That's a psychological thing. I would encourage you to ask yourself, what are the psychographical similarities that allows certain clients to do well and other clients not to do well? It's not that it's wrong to think in demographics, but it should come after the psychographics. And in the next clip here, Alex also mentions this.
So like cycling studios and like yoga studios, 100% could use our model. We didn't work with them because the founders tended to be psychologically different. They just didn't they just didn't, okay. They just like their adherence was super low because they just come from a totally different worldview than the guys who are more fitness, weight loss, transformation focused. Even though at the end of the day, it's just a membership with a back room where people work out.
Alex is not saying it's better to sell to gyms as opposed to yoga studios. He's just saying that they're different. And he's saying it's more in alignment for him to sell to the gyms. And the key to making an offer, and especially content marketing, is you have to market to one uniform psychographical profile. And because yoga studios and gyms are different, he's going to focus on this one, which means he has to say no to these ones. And the interviewer can't believe that.
It feels weird to like say no, because a lot of the time I get, so we specifically
that's why most people stay poor.
It's also how you get rich. The best kind of marketing is where you sit down with your prospect and you say, hey, here is who my program is not for, and here is who it is for. I remember with my short form video marketing agency, I just started one for fun. I went from $0 to $18,500 in 54 days with no marketing. I just DM'd people and I had a PDF. That's it. But on the PDF, I said 3 very interesting things. The first thing that I said was, if you want to go viral, don't message me. And I said that because I want to target the people who know going viral is not the secret to getting high ticket clients. And most people think it is the secret. So I'm segmenting myself into a very small part of the market. The second thing that I said was, if you're not making at least $5K to $10K every single month in profit from getting high ticket clients, brackets, you're charging at least $2,000. I said that. Don't message me. And the third thing that I said was, you have to be open to making consistent videos every single month. It'll take you 2 to 4 hours to film all of these videos. That's it. No marketing, just the PDF. But the people who connected with that PDF did 85% of my selling. And it's simply because of what Alex is saying. You have to be able to say no. You have to be able to clearly define who your offer is for and not for.
Dude, I have 13 companies. I get 1,800 a day who reach out.
1,800 a day. Alex is saying that to say, hey, I need to say no because I get so many inbound leads. A huge mistake that coaches and agencies make is they're in this quantity mindset, more views, more inbound leads, whatever. And it's not that it's wrong, but there's an alternative approach. Personally, I closed 80K in one day from 9 people showing up at one of my events. I had a 35K week that I filmed, and that week I had 4 to 5 inbound leads total. And I had one actual sales call. So if you would rather that, you can have that. Or if you want to build like this massive empire, which is awesome, you can have that too. Personally, I'm a little bit more of a lifestyle guy. But my point is, you don't need this quantity thing to make very good money, because 30K every single week is like $120,000 a month in cash collected profit with no expenses. It's funny. The interviewer then asks, hey, Alex, aren't you afraid the niche is going to get too small?
Aren't you afraid that the TAM will go smaller? Like,
Of course.
with small gyms? Yeah.
Of course.
How do you?
But I built a $100 million company off of a niche this big. It doesn't like it really, you can build a niche an inch wide and a mile deep.
This is one of the most important things that anyone can learn in the high ticket space. I tell my clients, don't look for a blue ocean. And a blue ocean is like this super untapped market. What I do tell them to do is to find a blue pond within a red ocean. So let's go back to my video editing agency. I would actually say the short form video editing market is probably the reddest ocean imaginable. So I go there and I find this small blue pond focusing on coaches who are making at least 5K to 10K a month, who don't want to go viral. That you don't understand how interesting this piece is. So many coaches think you have to go viral. So just saying that one line is what creates the blue pond. And make no mistake, my friends, a blue pond will easily generate you multiple seven figures. For Alex, it was even more. Let's keep watching.
There's 30 million small businesses. You don't need to service them. You like there's 50,000 gyms that fit the model that we have. 50,000. That's it. That's not a lot.
50,000 is not really that much, but how much money did Alex make?
Yeah.
Right. And so you will be limited. But the question is, what is your goal? Now, if you want to build a $10 billion company, then yeah, you're going to have to go after a bigger problem. But if you want to build a 9-figure company, you can do that in almost any industry.
Do you want to know what's crazy? There's an ad right now that is exploding. And the ad is something like, get 1 million views or you don't pay.
We will get you 1 million views or you don't pay.
That's the offer. And he's targeting coaches and agencies. Then you have Alex saying you can have a $100 million company from serving a niche that has 50,000 people in it. I really want you to sit with that for a second. Get 1 million views.
We will get you 1 million views.
But I built a $100 million company off of a niche this big.
The real secret to high ticket marketing is to go after a very specific group of people. And keep in mind, I have millions of views on YouTube, on my Mitch Manley YouTube channel. As someone who's gotten all of these crazy organic views, I am telling you, it's not the way to go if you want high ticket qualified clients. The next question the interviewer asks is a question that hurt me deeply in my soul. And it should hurt you in your soul too.
I have a question that one of my clients asked me. We have 5 minutes, maybe this is the right time to ask. So the question that they asked around this is like, Jayant, I'm not able to scale because my offer is a non-ROI offer. So this is a PR marketing agency, and they say like, hey, we just do PR, we do press releases. It's like, it just helps them with fame, doesn't really help with leads and sales. So how do I position myself? Because it feels like my offer is not an ROI based offer.
I would say you're selling to the wrong people.
So he said a non-ROI offer. Here's what an actual non-ROI offer would look like. There's a link in the description of this video, and it says, send me $10,000 and you will get nothing in return. That's you not getting an ROI on you sending me $10,000. You are not receiving any value. Okay, so that's a non-ROI offer technically. Now, the interviewer is using this phrase non-ROI offer in the context of one of his clients having an offer where the end result that he or she is advertising is not something like you will get more leads and sales. The end result should be something like you will have better PR. This is nothing more but solving a problem. And Alex saying, well, he's selling to the wrong people. Correct. But I wish Alex would unpack it just a little bit more. Offers like that are totally fine, but you need to sell to someone who values having good PR. One of my most successful clients ever was a guy named Blake. Okay. He had an offer where he helped people with their deep emotional wounds. Is that a non-ROI offer either? What about a dating coach? Of course, these are ROI offers, but they have to market to people who value that. And there was another client of mine, Christian actually, the end result of his offer was getting people 15 hours of their week back. And he made like 14 grand in the first 7 days. There's lots of people who don't just value money. So when Alex says, yeah, you're just marketing to the wrong people, 100%. But the reason why my soul aches at this is because the interviewer said he can't scale his business.
Jayant, I'm not able to scale because my offer is a non-ROI offer.
Dude, this guy doesn't even understand one of the most basic fundamental principles of how to sell anything to anyone, let alone a high ticket item. That's why it hurts. And I want to lovingly shake this guy and be like, brother, not the interviewer, the guy. Like, hey, dude, this is how value works. Value is subjective. It's like dating. You could be someone who travels all the time. So for you, when it comes to dating someone, you could value someone who also travels all the time. Someone else could not travel that much. So that same trait that you value, somebody else could hate. This is a fundamental principle of value. And it's one of the things, if you don't fully understand this, you will never make money. So in short, you have to know how value works and what it is. And on top of that, if your offer is not a ROI offer, it's fine to solve a problem, but you have to sell it to people who value that problem being solved. The next question that Alex has asked is, hey, how do you stand out as a fitness coach? But his answer is applicable for anyone with a high ticket offer. Let's see.
The competition that the fitness market is, how do you stand out?
Do steroids. That's a joke.
Because even if I get my first customers and I post them, there are 100 others that have this many case studies and testimonials to show up.
Honestly, it's just being authentic.
I don't fully agree with that. I do think being authentic is important, but there's a lot of fitness bros who are making fitness bro content, and other fitness bros are not really signing up. I'm going to go back to what I said before about the blue pond analogy. In fact, I can tell you a real story. I had a client once who was the strength coach at a major university in the United States, and he was a super fit, awesome guy. And he said, how do I stand out? And I said to him, okay, well, let's go through my process. Long story short, by the end of our process, he ended up having a gut microbiome offer specifically designed for women to lose weight. I know that sounds kind of funny, but he was one of the only people in the space who even had an offer like that. And like I was saying before, when you're the only one in this blue little pond, it's super easy to make money. And then he has to make content if he wants to. And he was making maybe 20 to 30K a month or something like that. So that's what I would recommend. Now, when it comes to this idea of being authentic, of course you should be authentic. But I think people don't really get it. Like most people who I work with, it's not like they're pretending to be something. It's more that they're not showing certain parts of themselves. But on a deeper level, most people don't really walk the walk. Like you have a lot of coaches, for example, who are preaching how you should always have a coach, how you should always invest into coaches. But a lot of the time, they themselves don't have coaches. So they don't even believe in the thing that they're doing. It's kind of like, imagine if I said, I believe everyone should be a vegan. Take a big bite of a steak. Do you know how dumb I would look? And like, imagine if I actually did that and I was like totally serious. You would think I'm insane. That's most people. So I agree. Being authentic is very important, but being authentic has deeper roots than people realize. But what I will say is, yeah, show who you are, because people are worried. Yeah, but if I show this part about myself, like maybe my little steroid joke, if you could call it a joke, do steroids. Like, oh, it might turn off some people. Isn't that the point? Yeah, you will turn off some people, but then the people who connect with you and resonate with you, they'll sign up with you. Like that's the entire thing. It actually goes back to this idea of saying no.
Which means you need to have discipline to say no.
Truly being you is saying no. Like, I'll say this. There's a lot of people I think who wouldn't really connect that much with me. I'm okay with that. You can't be afraid that people are not going to like you, because would you rather have 1 million people kind of like you for someone you're pretending to be, or like 1,000 people who love you for being you? And on a more of a financial side, you know, if 1,000 people pay you $10,000, that's $10 million. And I'm not trying to make this all about making money, but I am just saying, even in the context of showing up as you, ironically, those people do end up making the most amount of money. So audit the things that you say, be sure that you walk the walk and don't hide parts about yourself. That's the energy when you're hiding. Do you want to keep watching the video? Probably not. The next question that Alex has asked is, how do you make an irresistible offer? And I have a very unique opinion on this, but first let's watch the clip.
Creating the irresistible offer isn't necessarily about having a zillion products. It's more about explaining and communicating the many small things that you have to do anyways.
Truthfully, I've never personally connected with this idea of having an irresistible offer. But what I have connected with is one of my old mentors named Eben Pagan, and he spoke about how to make an offer. And he explained it like this. Imagine that you're 33 years old and you're a man and you have a headache. You go to the pharmacy. You then go to the pain relief aisle. You go to the headache section and you see two different medications. One says, this medication specializes in helping men who are 33 with brown hair get rid of the headache. Oh, and there's no weird sleeping side effects. Let's assume that I experienced that when I took headache medication. Now, beside that, there's a mysterious blue liquid that just says the word medicine on it. But the blue liquid offer, because it's the same, is endorsed by Tony Robbins. It's the best medicine in the world. Ha ha ha. It's like Santa Claus. Which one would you take? You would consider the blue liquid offer, but there's something interesting about it's so difficult to pull away from that highly specific medication. I love this example because this is not similar to having some kind of coaching or agency offer. It's identical. And this goes back, not to sound like a broken record, to this blue pond analogy. I really do think this is the secret because that medication, that's super specific, it sells itself just because it's perfect for the person. In this last clip here, Alex says something super interesting.
Piece two about being irreplaceable. I think, it's tough.
It's tough. That's the phrase that I find interesting because imagine if someone said to me, hey, Mitch, you have to build a computer from scratch. Here are the parts. You have no help and there's no instructions. For me, that's like impossible because I don't have a plan. I don't know what I'm doing. If someone gave me a course or whatever on it, or I could watch videos, I guess it's not impossible. But for me personally, it would still be super hard because if this water bottle is like me putting together a computer part, I'm the kind of person who likes to get a lot of reassurance, actually. I like to be like, hey, is this correct? Because I just don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to do something wrong and then for the wrong thing to show up later, like, oh man, I don't have time for that. So for me, it would still be hard. But if someone came to my house and did it with me, where I could ask for reassurance to make sure everything is good, I don't think it's that hard anymore. And where I'm going with this is when it comes to getting anything in your life, I would really encourage you to check in with your true self to make sure it's something you really want, but just maximize your chances of getting that thing, and it could be something so simple. Like if you're trying to lose weight, maybe don't buy unhealthy food so it's not around at night. If you go to the gym and on your way home, there's a bakery or something, maybe don't walk that way. It's just about doing the common sense thing. And I think if you really internalize this, your life will get better in a lot of ways. If you're in the service industry, coaching, or the agency space, feel free to follow the channel because there's a lot more videos coming. Thanks for watching. Peace.